a recommendation and an instruction from Apostle Paul unto the church. In Galatians 6 and verse 6, Apostle Paul says, let him that is taught in the word share with him that teaches in all good things. Another version says, the person who is taught the word should share all his goods with his teacher. And what was he saying here? He was encouraging the brethren in the church of Galatia, which is to the entire church, of course, that those that were receiving the word were supposed to share what they had with their teachers or with their pastors, with the ministry. In other words, I'm not trying to get you to give me an offering here today, because some people, when it comes to such scriptures, they begin to get revelations that make them fear to do what the word says. But what Paul was saying is that it is a two-way street. You are supposed to receive as you give. It is not supposed to be one way. So he was telling them regarding their teachers that if you receive what is spiritual from them, bless them with what is physical. If they preach to you, make sure that they don't leave hungry. That's what he was telling them. Don't leave the preacher to come and bless you, and yet for them they are suffering with what you can share with them. So as they share with you what is spiritual, you gotta share with them what is physical. And it's not the only instance in the Bible where the Bible mentions that principle. And some of us have to learn that. Even Jesus, as he was giving an example of rewards, he said that even a prophet receives, when you give him water, you shall receive the prophet's reward or the prophet's blessing. Paraphrase it. Now, I want you to understand that it is an expectation of God that it should be a two-way street. When the ministry, for instance, is a blessing to you, you are supposed to be a blessing to that ministry as well. When a minister is a blessing to you, you are meant to be a blessing back to them. You are not supposed to just be there in a parasitic kind of relationship. It should be a mutually symbiotic relationship. For those of you that understand that language, you should be able to be in a giving, receiving relationship with the ministry and the ministers. That is the recommendation of the Bible. And you know, sometimes when we read the Bible, we only want those verses that work for us. The verses that are self-centered, or that we can center to ourselves alone. The verses that tell me how I can do all things. The verses that tell me how I can get my miracle. The verses that tell me how I can receive my blessings from God. Of how I. And you know, in this 21st century, so much of that kind of selfish, self-centered, self-seeking church has been raised. And such scriptures, some of the people that have taken 10 years in church don't even know they exist in the Bible. But I want to tell you, this is part of the Christian code of conduct. It is part of the expectation of God unto your life, that you will not only be on the receiving end, but you will live in a mutually symbiotic relationship with the ministry and the ministers, even with God himself. It is not supposed to be a take, receive kind of situation. What Paul here is saying, when you receive the word, make sure you give back unto the source of the word. When you receive encouragement, also give back an encouragement. When you receive a healing from church, it is not like you are going to pay for it. No, but it is good to come back with thanks. You don't just say, me, I've received my miracle, I love this church, I've walked away. It's not like you are paying for what you have received. No. But if it has been a blessing to you, be a blessing to it. If the ministry has blessed you, be a blessing to the ministry. If the minister is blessing you, be a blessing to the minister. And not with just a God bless you. Because when you read the commentary of what he was saying here, he was saying that give what is physical to they that give you what is spiritual. Because these preachers never had anything else to do. They left their jobs and they went out preaching the gospel, and it blessed people. The sick got healed. And then after they preach, they are human beings who need to eat. They are human beings who have to take care of their families. They are human beings that still have need of transport to travel to Rome, to travel to Ephesus, to still be a blessing to other people with the ministry. And how are they supposed to do that? That's where some people begin to say, you know, those preachers should work, as if whatever they are doing in your life is not work. By being a blessing to you with what is spiritual, they are working. So you shouldn't start saying they should work, but the moment you have a need, they should be on your speed dial, and you expect them to pick up, and you expect them to be a blessing to you. That is very unfair. Be a blessing to your pastor. Be a blessing to the ministry that blesses you. Be a blessing to the people that God has used in your life. It is a biblical principle, and it is a very Christian thing to do. The person who is taught the word should share all his good with his teacher. The Bible in basic English says, but let him who gets teaching in the word give a part in all good things to his teacher. Be a blessing to that which blesses you in Jesus' mighty name. That is your word for today.